E aí pessoal, aqui é o Pedro, bora continuar aqui a série de Steelrising, então bora lá. Bom, eu tentei voltar, mas não deixa. Então o jeito vai ser resgatar ele e depois a gente voltar aqui. Bora lá, Vaucanson. Ah, ele não tá tão fodido, não.
Monsieur.
C'est toi? Oh, that voice. Athénaïs? Mon enfant? Oh mon Dieu. They did it. They did it. They've turned my sweet daughter into a cold machine.
It's all right. Stay calm.
Well, Ludia, what has Cagliostro told you? Has he sent you to put me out of my misery?
No. I'm going to get you out of here. Let me help you.
There's no point. I'm burning with fever, and I'm already short of breath. Death lurks around every corner in this prison. I couldn't escape it. I'm not long for this world.
No, you can't. Outside, your automats are slaughtering men, women, and children. What you have done, monsieur, only you can undo.
What I have done, the miracles I performed, the wonders I gave to this kingdom, it was nothing but vanity. I closed my eyes to it for so long. Mesmer, Cagliostro, souls snatched from their eternal rest like water from a well. I should have set fire to the workshop. I should have melted my creations.
It's not too late to stop the massacre.
I don't have the strength. You must...
Speak, monsieur. Say something, enfant.
You must stop them. The king and his loathsome henchman, Cagliostro, the master of the machines. He gives them their orders. He must be silenced at all costs. Take my hand.
Monsieur. Monsieur. Father.
No, no, my pauvre enfant. I am not your father. No more than you are Athénaïs. You're but the vessel that contains what is left of her broken soul. Ludia, I don't want to die without hope. In the name of what is left of her in you, in the name of her love for you, I beg you to free her from the purgatory our enemies have confined her to.
I will grant your wish, monsieur.
Do you realize what that means? Are you ready to make that sacrifice?
The ultimate sacrifice.
Ma fille. I shall never see her darling face again. Ma toute petite. You must set her free. Bring her back into the light. The light.
Monsieur. Monsieur. Monsieur.
Ah, e outras memórias.
No! Papa! Have you lost your mind?
Bon sang, my daughter, will you never listen? This machine belongs to the king now, vous le savez. There's nothing I can do about it.
Did he also order you to torture her?
The king wants me to make some improvements.
And you obey him just like that?
That's enough, Athenais. Let me work. And from now on, I forbid you from coming in here without my permission.
Ugh! You're no better than your master, Papa!
Tá, uma outra memória de Atena agora. Com essas são quantas dela já? 6 de 7, só falta um. Caramba, eu não esperava, velho. Pô, fiquei triste pelo cara, velho. Porque eu achei que, tipo, ele ia ser uma cuzão, criou as máquinas e sabia que talvez pudesse ser usada pra isso. Mas, aparentemente, ele não queria que isso acontecesse. Ele queria que as máquinas ajudassem mesmo, né? Então a gente ficou no meio termo mesmo. A gente não é a Lud, não é a Aigis e também não é a Athena por completo. A gente é uma fusão de tudo. É o que sobrou. Tá, onde eu tô? E eu não...
This boat to reach the Seine. As soon as I am on dry land, I shall return to the Cordelier convent. I'm sure they are waiting for me with bated breath.
Não, mas eu não quero sair daqui, eu quero voltar. Não tem como voltar, será? Ou será que depois aqui vai liberar? Ou eu simplesmente perdi o negócio? Porque eu não salvei o cara aquela hora. Ó, porque nem voltar aqui eu consigo. Ah, vamos ver. Tomara que dê pra voltar aqui. Espero eu. Senão a gente perdeu um dos caras. Que era pra gente ter libertado. Porque daqui não tem como voltar. Eu não tô vendo um gancho. Não tô vendo nada que deixe a gente voltar pra cá. Então... sem condição. Fazer o que, né? Se a gente perdeu, perdeu. Mas eu ainda acho que tava na frente. Bem naquele lugar lá que eu não consegui acessar. Que eu vi, mas eu não entendi como chegava. Vai tá dando mó treta aí, não é?
Citoyen, I come bearing sad tidings. Monsieur de Vaucanson has passed away. I was present for his last breath in his cell at the Bastille.
Juste ciel. Requiescat in pace.
Mon Dieu, it is a cruel fate that has taken my dearest friend from me today.
Eugene. Ce pauvre Eugene. I cannot suffer such a horrible injustice.
Was he at least able to tell you something before he passed away?
No, nothing.
How unfortunate. We are lost.
Must we resign ourselves to this disastrous turn of events?
No, General. Every part of me refuses to do so. Eugene de Vaucanson made me make a promise that I swore to keep. Now I have no other choice than to risk everything.
What are you thinking, Aegis?
I'm thinking of making my way to Versailles.
Eh bien, you should know that I also plan to go there.
You don't even think about it.
Ma foi. What have we got to lose? Our lives? At this point, you must admit that they're not worth much.
I agree with the Marquis's resolution. We must take into account everything that Aegis has done to foil the King's plans. The time has come for us to put ourselves at her service.
Not so fast, mon ami. Let's not rush into anything. You'd have to be mad to want to be part of the battle to come. Those who agree to take part in this strike will need to keep a low profile until Aegis has cleared the way. As for you, madame, I do not know what new arrangements have been made since my last visit to the Queen, but I found the area around the North Wing to be particularly empty. Here is where you should launch the attack. If fortune is in my favor, I shall be waiting for you at the Petit Trianon with something to help you make your way through the gardens.
As for us, once the automates have been defeated, we will enter the palace to seize the king and the count.
Is that your plan, Monsieur le Marquis?
It is, monsieur.
We are about to take the small step that separates audacity from madness.
Are you ready to take it, madame?
Citoyen, I cannot escape my obligations. It is in my very nature to honor them. I kept the promise I made to the Queen to find Monsieur de Vaucanson. I am now bound by the oath I swore before my creator. If I go to Versailles, it is in the hope of rescuing Athenais. I think also of all that remains to be done in Paris. And what's more, you demand my help to make you masters of the king.
It is a heavy burden that we place on your shoulders. But once again, we must leave it up to you.
Take your time, Aegis. A hasty decision could lead to disaster.
We will be ready for action when the time comes.
Pour la nation et pour le royaume!
Carai, chegamos na parte. Tá, a gente tinha coisa pra fazer aqui. Entregar a missão. Eu acho. Deixa eu ver. Não. Eu não quero fazer isso aqui. Deve ter outro jeito. Tá, vamos lá. Mirabel primeiro.
Citoyen Mirabeau. Unfortunately, I come bearing sad news.
Go on, Aegis. There is no need to spare me. This is about my mother, isn't it?
Indeed. The Countess is no longer of this world.
Yes. It was to be feared. I knew she was lost a long time ago. The poor woman. At last she has been delivered from the madness that drove her into the gutter.
It gets worse.
Worse, you say?
Your mother did not die of poverty. She was killed.
Murdered? No. No. My father. The rabid dog made good on his threat. May he roast in the fires of hell for all eternity. As for you, Bishop, do you finally understand the man's true nature? How much longer will you protect this demon?
I share your grief, Monsieur de Mirabeau, but the secrets of...
Enough! You sanctimonious bigot! Is it not enough for you to serve the people absurd fables that condemn them to ignorance? Must you also submit to the whims of a malicious old brute? The scourge of his own family? Speak! Speak now, or so help me, I will send you to meet your maker.
Please, Monsieur, let us not get carried away. Out of respect for your grief, and given the extraordinary circumstances,
Só conta logo.
I consent to enlighten you.
I am listening, Monseigneur.
I admit that your father is an unusual person, inhabited by an anger whose source is undetermined. He blamed you, your sister, and your poor mother for all of his misfortunes. I stayed by his bedside an entire night. I preached about mercy and the example of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Ha! That must have gone over well.
Do not mock me, Monsieur de Mirabeau. At dawn, I finally got Monsieur le Marquis to see the error of his ways. Before God, he extended forgiveness to all those he had previously condemned.
However, he did not give up his plans for revenge. The fate reserved for my mother is proof of this.
In fact, Monsieur, he did. He even gave me a leather wallet containing, in his words, the instrument of your punishment. He asked me to dispose of it. Unfortunately, your mother's fate was already sealed. Orders had been given. There was nothing more that could be done. The poor soul. He was in tears, his body racked with sobs.
My heart breaks to hear it. What was in the wallet?
I don't know, Monsieur. I did not open it.
In that case, I ask you to give it to me now.
I cannot, Monsieur. When I was captured, The wallet fell into the hands of the Comte de Cagliostro.
Nom de nom, Aegis. Do you realize what this means? This wallet contains my father's sentences for his children. Me, of course, but also my sister, the Marquise de Cabri. You must find it at all costs. Our fate is in your hands. Cagliostro must have put it in a safe place, somewhere known only to him.
The Marquise de Capri, dites-vous?
Yes, that is my sister Louise's title.
Fortune favors you today. It so happens that I already have this wallet. It was in a secret workshop by the Tuileries, where the Count conducts his sinister experiments.
Oh, how fortunate. What does it contain?
2 envelopes addressed to the Lieutenant General de Police. One of them had this letter in it. It concerns your sister, the Marquise de Capri.
Let's see. A lettre de cachet signed by my father. He gave orders to have my sister locked up in a convent. His unique variety of fatherly love is unmistakable. What was in the second envelope?
It is empty.
Empty? Mon Dieu. You don't have to be a genius to guess that it contained a similar document. This time concerning myself. If the envelope was empty, it means that this letter has already been delivered to its recipient. By Cagliostro, no doubt. The monster must have felt a perverse sense of joy as he devoured its contents. Aegis, you must retrieve this letter at all costs. If the Lieutenant General attaches a seal and gives it to his underlings at the Châtelet, I am done for.
Where does this Lieutenant General reside?
Right by the fortress. He's a dutiful man and prides himself on never straying too far from it. Please hurry, I beg of you.
Tá, a gente tem que ajudar o bendito, ok. Vamos falar pólvora pro Lavoisier.
What can I do for you, Aegis?
I found the powder. It is at the Bastille.
Ah, what good news. Is it in good condition?
Of course.
What do you mean? Am I to understand that you have not done what needed to be done?
Yes. Now all that is left is for the Marquis and his men to retrieve the powder and load it into their cannons.
What men? What cannons?
We will raise our army soon, you can be sure, and we will then be able to confront the royal army.
You do not measure the import of your actions and your words, Monsieur le Marquis, always rushing headlong into things. The Bastille is an ancient fortress that was not designed to house such large quantities of explosives. The tiniest spark could cause a catastrophe. The iron from a boot or the point of a sword scraping against the stone. Thanks to you, we are now at the mercy of chance.
There is no such thing as chance, Citoyen Lavoisier. If we are defeated, we will have only our failures to blame. Goodbye, Citoyen Lavoisier, and down with despotism.
Não sei se foi a escolha certa. Pô, é difícil saber se faz a escolha certa ou não. E eu não consegui ainda descobrir como fazer a quest do Marat sem acusar o... Qual que é a nova? Vixe, ferrou, não sei qual que é a nova. Tá, aqui que é aqui. Marquês Lafayette. A carta régia. Ah, talvez da rainha. Versalhes eu não quero ir. Ah, Bastilha. Pô, faltou ir na Bastilha. Deixa eu ver se aqui é muito longe a carta. Senão a gente tenta ir lá procurar a alma do cara, velho. Estamos na parte final. Chegou Versalhes, não tem volta mais agora. Não tem muito o que fazer. Obtém a carta. Beleza. Um pulo é foda. Tá, é por aqui. Eu vou dar uma ignorada nos bichos, tá, gente? Pra gente acelerar aqui o esquema. Cara, eu odeio esse bicho, mano, na moral. E sem querer dar ataque crítico no outro também. Meu Deus, eu não vi. Caramba, eu completei todas as roupas do game. Não sabia que tinha completado não. Mano, morreu, velho. Ah, meu Deus. Quanto bichinho chato que tem aqui. Caramba. Beleza. Vamos usar a moeda, vai. Vamos acelerar aqui o nosso progresso. Beleza. Eu vou ter que pesquisar, porque senão eu vou ter que fazer muito mais coisa se eu fazer a quest do Lafayette errado. Eu tenho que fazer uma das duas certo, porque eu acho que os dois troféus não tem como fazer. Então, um dos troféus eu tenho que fazer certo, pra facilitar pra mim depois do New Game. Porque no menu já parece que eu posso fazer New Game, mas eu nem zerei ainda, né, então... Entregar a carta pro Mirabel. Vamos lá.
Citoyen Mirabeau. Here is the letter sent by your father to the Lieutenant General de Police. You were right.
Mon Dieu. So this is what the cur had in store for me. A new lettre de cachet with a royal seal. He sentenced me to spend the rest of my days in the Chateau de Vincennes. To return to the cell where he had me locked up 12 years ago. Those 10 square feet where I lay at death's door for 42 months on end. 14 seasons, spent with chattering teeth, coughing up a bucket full of bile and blood every day.
What does this letter matter, in the face of the mortal peril that hangs over all the king's enemies?
You must put yourself in my shoes to understand. If the king wins this war, he will send all the brave men here to the scaffold. And I am certain they will climb the steps with their heads held high. But if you hadn't taken that letter, I would have suffered a far darker fate. Louis the Mad would have made it his duty to respect my father's last wishes. But I would rather die, whether a hero or a coward, than return to Vincennes. There is no worse hell on earth than that infernal dungeon.
Your own father had you thrown in jail.
Alas, such is the sad truth.
What crime did he hold you to be guilty of?
He disapproved of the follies of the young man I was back then, and my love for a certain someone. A woman whom an unjust law kept me apart from. I was free and besotted with happiness, Aegis. And that was a crime in the eyes of my father, the Marquis. I sullied the Mirabeau name, so he felt it necessary to steal my youth and clap his wayward son in irons.
Was there no trial?
One would imagine. Those damned lettres de cachet. For centuries, a powerful man, whether a king or a father, needs simply put pen to paper, and an innocent man is thrown into prison. The poor soul sees neither judge nor lawyer. In the space of an hour, he moves from the light into darkness, and his cries for help fall futilely on the cold stone of the dungeon walls. I am just one of many victims, whose ranks range from the most famous to the most lowly, from Voltaire and Diderot to the unfortunate children whose dark fates will never be known. In any case, I must now express my eternal gratitude, even though no words, no matter how eloquent, can express its depth. I owe everything to you, Aegis. You, who've broken my chains forever. Whatever happens now, I will be free to live or die for the nation. As for the Marquis de Mirabeau, that criminal whom misfortune chose as my father, let us consider him dead, shall we? Let him choke on loneliness and regret, once and for all.
Tá, terminou a missão dele. Show. Vamos... Última coisa que eu quero fazer. A do Lafayette eu vou ver... Eu vou ter que dar uma pesquisada, porque eu realmente não quero perder. Mas... eu acho que dá pra gente fazer rapidinho. Ir lá e tentar encontrar a última parte da alma do nosso amiguinho que ficou lá. Porque a alma dele ficou lá, né? Então, tá dentro da Bastilha. Todas as memórias tá dentro da Bastilha. Então, com certeza tá lá dentro. Eu só não vi alguma entradinha que eu não prestei atenção. Vamos rushar direto pra lá. A gente dá uma olhada rápida. E pronto. Onde que a gente tá aqui? Ah, tá. Já sei onde a gente tá. Beleza. Tranquilo, tranquilo, tranquilo. Tá, não vai ter corta-caminho aqui. Tem que dar a volta. Não sei se tem inimigo aqui, mas eu vou cair direto no buraquitos. Pronto. Não, não é pra cá não, é pra cá. Ai. Tá, já cortamos um caminho do caramba aqui já. Deixa eu precisar dar toda a volta, nem isso já precisar. Bora. Preciso de regenerar a estamina. Vamos indo. Tá, a entrada é aqui. Eu não tô vendo realmente nada pra pular. Aqui também não. Onde que é a entrada que a gente queria ir? Tá, era... Onde que era? Tá, era ali, era atrás do robozão. Bora. Fui. Beleza. Tá, chegamos na Bastilha. Vamos olhar as portas. Se eu passei por alguma porta que era pra ter aberto e eu não abri. E é isso. Porque com certeza tá aqui essa bagaça. Vamos lá. Tem uma porta. Ali a gente já sabe o que tem. Eu acho que foi pro final, então eu vou pelo lado oposto. Aqui tem alguma coisa? Não. Não. Vamos indo. Ó, parece que tem coisa atrás dessa porta aqui. Será que tem como entrar? Ah, tem uma porta aqui. Meu Deus. Acabou? Ah. Opa, botou errado. Ah, memória. Show.
The death sentences delivered by court order are nothing more than cowardly murders. Barbaric crimes committed legally in the name of the entire nation. These cruel laws are the doing of the tyrants who rule us. They are the chains they have always used to oppress the human race. And that, mes amis, is why the death penalty must be abolished.
Well said.
Pronto, vamos lá libertar o cadáver. O cadáver. Vamos lá libertar o cara do sonho dele. Eu não tenho que enfrentar o boss de novo, não, né?
No, Your Grace. I am your most faithful servant.
Monsieur, listen to me.
But I can no longer do what you ask of me.
Listen to me, Vaucanson.
Kill, kill, and kill again.
What do you mean? Of what crimes do you accuse yourself?
The heads must roll. They must roll straight into the pit.
Cela suffit. Who are you, monsieur?
Who am I? Oh, I am Charles-Henri Sanson, executor of court rulings.
The executioner of Paris.
The executioner? Oh no, not anymore. That death factory. We had to lead the horde of the tortured victims there and hand them over to killers who are far more efficient and skilled than us. When I tried to give up my position, the king and the count offered me a new role. Greffier at the Bastille. An easy job. And I fell into their trap. Oh. But now that I think about it, they must be the ones who sent you. They want my head.
You're rambling. I am Aegis, their worst enemy. Come to rescue Monsieur de Vaucanson. I hope to learn the secrets of his tireless automats. Alas, I was only present for his last breath.
Poor man. I think they're probably all dead in there. I don't know what poison plagues those accursed walls. The king deliberately chose to imprison his enemies there. He didn't give them a chance, madame. Not a chance.
E você vai pra onde? Vai ficar aqui?
What did the Comte de Cagliostro have you do?
The reprobate. He made me his servant, and my assistants his slaves. At the hospital that he turned into a prison, we were forced to deliver innocent victims to his mechanical executioners. There were no last rites for these poor souls, no priests to lead them to the scaffold. We were forced to bury them non-stop, piled on top of one another, heads between legs. It was a slaughterhouse, madame. A death factory.
Acho que ele é só isso, então. Pô, eu jurava que ia ter algo mais nele. Mas não. É só libertando e pronto. Não dá pra abrir também. É, a única saída é sempre no mesmo lugar. Ok, eu tenho que ver a missão do Lafayette. Como que eu termino ela? Eu acho que é só. E eu preciso encontrar esse aqui, do Nicolas Flamel também. Ah, precisamos da rainha, eu não tinha visto. Ah, então era isso que era o que tava lá no negócio. Mas retorna pedindo ajuda. Chama St. Cloud está sob ataque. Maria Antônia Ordags que vá socorrê-la imediatamente. Pô, então no próximo a gente vai ter que salvar a rainha ainda. Tá. Mas é isso, gente. O vídeo vai ficando por aqui. Deixa o like, se inscreve no canal. Até a próxima e fui.